Have you ever felt that the weight of work can be overwhelming, draining your energy and pulling your focus away from what truly matters? Workplace stress is a common challenge for many of us, but there is a way to manage it that goes beyond temporary solutions. Today, we're going to explore mindfulness as a transformative practice to relieve stress and bring more balance into your daily work life. Mindfulness, deeply rooted in Buddhist tradition, teaches us to connect with the present moment with calmness and without judgment. By cultivating this mindful awareness, we can view challenging situations from a new perspective, reducing our reactivity and finding peace even in tense moments. You'll discover how Buddhism provides us with tools to manage stress, along with practical ways to incorporate mindfulness into your routine. The goal here is simple: to help you create a space of inner peace wherever you are, allowing you to feel calmer, more present, and better equipped to handle work demands. Mindfulness is the practice of consciously bringing our mind to the present moment, free from judgment. It's a way of being fully aware of what's happening within and around us, moment by moment. In the rush and distractions of daily life, it's common for our minds to drift, constantly stuck in the past or anxious about the future. Through mindfulness, we learn to return to the present, creating a space of calm and mental clarity. In Buddhist tradition, mindfulness is much more than a technique to reduce stress. It's a path to freedom from suffering and a fundamental practice to achieve inner peace. Known as sati in Pali, the word translates as remembrance or full attention, reminding us not to get lost in uncontrolled thoughts and emotions. In Buddhism, the goal of this practice is to help us see reality more clearly, recognizing the true nature of our experiences and thereby reducing suffering. Thus, mindfulness is a means to develop our awareness and wisdom. With it, we learn to observe life's challenges and joys without clinging to or rejecting what arises. When we cultivate this state, we can experience each moment with greater presence, calm, and compassion. In the workplace, this presence helps us face difficult situations more balancedly, relieving stress and increasing our ability to respond rather than react impulsively. To understand stress more deeply, Buddhism offers a fundamental concept, dukkha, often translated as suffering or dissatisfaction. In Buddhism, dukkha represents life's inevitable difficulty, a condition that arises when we cling to what we desire or resist what we dislike. When we bring this concept into the workplace, we see that stress often stems from our expectations, wanting things to be different or fearing a loss of control. Work stress can arise from our attachment to performance expectations, the desire for recognition, or even the need to control situations. Buddhism reminds us that suffering arises when we cling to these expectations, resisting the natural changes and imperfections of the professional environment. This attachment creates a barrier between what is and what we wish it to be, resulting in frustration and exhaustion. Rather than seeing stress as an enemy to be eliminated, Buddhism invites us to accept it as part of the human experience, an opportunity to practice awareness and detachment. When we accept that stress is a reality along our path, we can approach it with compassion and curiosity rather than resistance. Cultivating this acceptance turns stress into an opportunity for self-knowledge and growth, helping us move more lightly through work's challenges. Remember, accepting stress doesn't mean surrendering to it. It means recognizing it as a passing experience that we can observe without being overwhelmed. In this way, we turn the challenge of stress into a chance to develop our presence and find peace in any situation. In the workplace, where pressures and responsibilities pile up, applying Buddhist principles can help us handle situations with more balance and awareness. Let's explore some of these principles which, when understood and practiced, transform how we view and respond to daily challenges. First, the principle of impermanence. In Buddhism, everything is in constant flux. When we apply impermanence to work, we understand that situations, projects, and even difficulties are temporary. Moments of stress, conflict, or overload will pass. This understanding invites us to face each moment with less resistance, letting go of attachment to specific outcomes because we know change is the only constant. Accepting the transitory nature of things helps us react with more flexibility and adaptability. Another principle is non-attachment. We often cling to fixed ideas of who we should be at work, others' recognition, or control over outcomes. In the Buddhist context, non-attachment doesn't mean disinterest, but a release from the feelings that imprison us and cause suffering. When we detach from rigid expectations, we become more open to experiencing each situation without added weight. We cultivate emotional balance, allowing us to do our best without being overly shaken by success or failure. Additionally, there is the concept of conscious action, or full intention. In Buddhism, this means acting with presence, paying attention to every decision and action with full awareness of their consequences. In the workplace, this practice reminds us to act with purpose and integrity. Instead of reacting automatically to pressures, we respond with calm and clarity. This commitment to conscious action enables us to cultivate more harmonious and ethical work relationships, fostering a greater sense of inner peace. By incorporating these principles into our daily lives, we gain a foundation of stability and clarity. Amid work challenges, we can return to these practices and remind ourselves of our capacity to respond with calmness, compassion, and wisdom. To make mindfulness a real and transformative practice at work, there are several techniques you can incorporate throughout the day. They're simple, but over time, they can profoundly impact how you feel and respond to professional challenges. The first technique is conscious breathing, known in Buddhism as anapana. This practice involves simply focusing on the breath, bringing the mind to the present moment by observing each inhalation and exhalation. When you feel stress building up, take a few seconds to breathe deeply, observing the air coming in and going out without trying to control the rhythm. Conscious breathing helps calm the mind and detach from stressful thoughts, enabling you to react more calmly. Another powerful technique is body scanning. This practice involves directing attention to each part of the body, starting from the feet and moving up to the head, noticing sensations without judging them. At work, when taking a break, try sitting comfortably and feeling each part of your body, noticing where there's tension and gently releasing it. This helps us reconnect with the body, which is essential for maintaining balance between mind and body, especially during intense stress. Non-judgment meditation is another useful practice. At work, it's common for feelings of frustration or criticism to arise toward ourselves and others. This practice teaches us to observe our thoughts and emotions without labeling them as good or bad. Try, when feeling a difficult emotion, to simply observe it with curiosity, without trying to change or judge it. By practicing non-judgment, we become more compassionate and less reactive, creating an inner peace that reflects in how we interact with others. Finally, we can take mindfulness breaks during the day. Set aside a few moments, even brief ones, to disconnect from work and bring your attention back to the present. This could be a minute of deep breathing before a meeting, a short walk focusing on each step, or simply observing a cup of coffee with full attention. These breaks allow you to recharge your mind, increasing focus and clarity when you return to your tasks. These techniques may seem simple, but with practice and consistency, they cultivate a foundation of calm and resilience that helps us face work stress with a new perspective. When we introduce these small mindfulness rituals into our daily lives, we transform our environment and experiences, allowing us to live and work with more peace, presence, and well-being. In the workplace, harmonious relationships are essential for our well-being. A Buddhist practice that can help cultivate these relationships is compassion, or metta, which means loving kindness. At its core, this practice involves sincerely wishing others well, without expectations, fostering a sense of connection and understanding. We can start practicing metta internally, sending thoughts of kindness to ourselves. Then, we expand these feelings to colleagues, wishing them happiness, health, and freedom from suffering. This exercise in compassion transforms the way we interact with others, making us more patient and empathetic, especially during times of conflict or pressure. In the workplace, practicing compassion fosters an atmosphere of respect and understanding, where everyone feels valued. By practicing metta regularly, we become less reactive and more understanding, even in difficult situations. Embracing this attitude helps reduce conflict and creates a more peaceful, harmonious environment. Compassion isn't just a feeling, it's a choice to respond to others with empathy, regardless of the circumstances. And in doing so, we also benefit ourselves, as compassion brings a sense of lightness and fulfillment. When we build relationships based on compassion, work becomes less stressful and more meaningful. Working alongside people we feel part of a community with brings a sense of purpose and belonging. After all, by offering kindness and understanding, we create an environment where everyone has the opportunity to grow and develop together. In the work context, practicing acceptance and detachment is essential for maintaining inner peace, even in the face of challenges and change. In Buddhism, acceptance is often referred to as upekkha, or equanimity. It teaches us to embrace circumstances as they are, without resistance or inner struggle. By accepting what's beyond our control, like the natural ups and downs of work, we create space to respond with serenity instead of being overwhelmed by frustration and anxiety. Detachment, in turn, is the practice of releasing the need to control outcomes. In the professional setting, this means doing our best without becoming overly attached to the success or failure of each project. When we learn to detach from results, we free our minds from constant worry, gaining a sense of freedom and lightness. This doesn't imply disinterest, rather, we can be deeply engaged in what we do with an open mind and a calm heart. By accepting circumstances and detaching from results, work becomes a more fluid and less exhausting experience. We free ourselves from the pressure to meet external expectations or control every detail and begin to see work as a journey of learning and growth. This approach not only reduces stress, but also allows us to work with more creativity and joy, knowing we're doing our best at every moment. Incorporating mindfulness and a Buddhist perspective into work offers benefits beyond stress reduction. It deeply and lastingly transforms our professional experience. Practicing mindfulness and adopting a more compassionate, detached outlook at work can, firstly, improve productivity. When we're focused and present, we have greater mental clarity and are less susceptible to distractions. With a calmer mind, we're able to concentrate on tasks more accurately, optimizing our time and performance quality. Additionally, these principles help prevent burnout and promote more balanced mental health. The work environment can be demanding and draining, but by practicing acceptance, compassion, and detachment, we strengthen ourselves emotionally, creating a kind of shield against emotional overload. This approach reduces the impact of stress and helps us build the inner resilience needed to face challenges. Mindfulness and Buddhist teachings also drive us to grow personally and professionally. By practicing presence and detachment from results, we become more open to feedback, learn to handle failures better, and transform each experience into learning. With this mindset, our relationship with work becomes richer and more meaningful, allowing us to evolve as professionals and human beings. These benefits extend beyond the individual. By incorporating these practices into daily life, we foster a more harmonious and collaborative environment, inspiring those around us and creating a virtuous circle of well-being and mutual respect. To make mindfulness part of your daily work routine, start with simple and accessible practices. Begin by setting aside a few minutes each day for small, conscious breathing breaks, at the start of the workday, before meetings, or when you feel tension building. These moments of pause, even if brief, help center your mind and reduce the impact of negative emotions or thoughts. Another tip is to bring mindfulness to routine activities, like responding to emails or organizing your desk. Instead of acting automatically, try completing each task calmly and focused, noticing each movement and the sensation it brings. This fosters a stronger connection with the present moment and helps relieve the mind from overload. Finally, practice empathy in interactions with colleagues. When listening, make a conscious effort to be present, without interruptions or judgments. These small acts of mindfulness cultivate a sense of harmony in the workplace and make work a more human and enriching experience. Mindfulness and Buddhist principles offer valuable tools for finding peace and balance at work. By bringing these teachings into our routines, we find that it's possible to live each moment with more serenity and compassion. Remember that stress and challenges are inevitable parts of professional life, but we have the power to choose how we respond to them. With practices of presence and self-care, we create an inner space of calm that sustains us in adversity. May this path of mindfulness inspire you to grow, find peace, and journey forward with lightness and purpose.